people! Today we're going to do part of the much promised Pokemon set I've been talking about for weeks now. This is the first half of the set, and we're going to start off with some pre-prepped medium length oval nails. I am going to be I'm trying to replicate this blue background that's on this card as my base for these, so that's what we're going to start with. Okay, we have a mixed bag of polishes for this set because I needed these specific colors. We're going to start off with the darkest blue. We're going to just splotch some of it on there. Then this will be the medium. And after this, we're going to do the light. And then we will just sponge it gently so we don't muddy it up too badly. Now, next week I'll be doing my own nails again. So it'll be the week after that when I do the rest of this set, which is going to be the other hand, which will have Wigglytuff and Jigglypuff on there, as those are the two other of my favorite ones. I'm going with OG Pokemon for this whole set because those are the ones I'm most familiar with. Okay, we are ready to sponge this now. And very gently. Otherwise you'll mush it up too much and we won't get the look we're going for. We don't want it to be real muddied either. Okay, and now I need to clean out underneath because somehow I managed to slop polish under the nail. I don't know how that happens, but occasionally I do that. Okay. Now we're going to add a little bit of the lightest blue again where there's light areas on here. Now I started this one out adding all three colors right away. Somewhere along the way I'm going to just do the dark and the medium and sponge, and then just add the light at the end and sponge, because that worked out better. Also, this video was 2 hours long when I got done with my edit, so I have tried to speed up everything that I possibly can in here, and I managed to get it down to just under an hour now. I know that's still kind of a lot, so buckle up. It's going to be a long ride here. Let's see, this is my second voiceover I'm doing. I don't know what happened with the first one. People have viewed my video and not one person commented asking where the audio was on there, so I don't know what's up, guys, but if there's problems, please let me know so I can fix them. Anyway, moving on. We're just going to speed through this. There will be a second coat to this base colors situation. But as you can see, I have now sped this up. The reason I chose these particular Pokemon, or because these were my two favorites from when I used to play the card game with my son. He still plays the Pokemon stuff, FYI, and he's 32, which I can't really say anything about that though, because I still play. As you guys know from last time, I am a huge gamer and play a lot of games myself. Now, while I was pulling out my Pokemon card collection, as I do have a collection of them from when I was playing all the time, to look for the cards to use, as my examples to paint from, to work off of, he was looking through them with me through my binders, and he spotted a couple cards that could possibly be worth quite a bit of money. So at some point when I have the money to get them graded, I will do that. And if one of them is worth what he says it's worth, I would have enough money to pay our mortgage for like 4 months. So all those times where people making fun of me for collecting Pokemon cards, I could be getting the last laugh. Anyway, moving on. Still working at this background. As I said, the second half of this set is going to be Jigglypuff and Wigglytuff. They are colorless Pokemon, so you can use any energies for them. So I'm kind of at a loss as to what else to put on the extra nails that don't have the Pokemon on them for those. I don't want to do all Pokeballs because that's just going to be too much. So if anybody has any suggestions as to what I could put on there with the other ones, please let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it because I'm kind of stuck. Doing this set, I cannot even tell you guys how stressed I was doing this whole set. I mean, I've been dreading it for weeks now, and usually when I come in here in my nail room, this is my happy place. I come in here, put my music on, the rest of the world goes away, and I just sit here doing my nails and, happy as a clam. But with this set, like every day I needed to come in here, I was just dreading it so bad because I had gotten myself so in my head about these stupid character nails. Now, on the bright side, I have gained a little bit of confidence after doing this set, so I think the next ones will not be so such an ordeal for me to do. I think I've gotten the most of the jitters or the stuff in my head telling me you're not going to be able to do this very well. This is not going to come out good. I think I've silenced some of that now. And there where we are so far. We're going to cure those. And we're back. I've done 2 coats of that. We've done 2 coats of that base color system on there. Now we're going to do an energy drop on this nail. So I'm going to start off with some blooming gel. You saw the card. I showed you the energy card. It's got kind of white, kind of white swooshy stuff coming off in 3 different directions. So that's what I'm trying to replicate here with the blooming gel and the white polish. Now I'm just going to use my detailer brush to kind of get these going the way I want them to go. Now I've got lines in there I need to do something with. Yes, we don't like those. Let's fix that. Okay, good enough. Curing that. Now I did a lot of flashing in between things on this, so hopefully I think that's part of what took a long time for me. Okay, now we're going in with this Beetles white. And also another Beetle. Most of the colors I used were Beetles. There was one oddball one, a couple of Clou Beaute gel polishes, and what else? I think I had one Makartt in there too. But we're going to start off with just a white circle. And I'm going to draw the plus sign in hopes that that helps me to get a roundy circle of the right size. This method did not work out so well for me when I was doing the white circles for dots on the top of the toad nails that I did in the Mario set. But for this being a bigger circle, I think it does work pretty well for that. So we're just going to smooth it out, try to get these edges looking semi-nice, and then we'll give it a cure. I think every time I was doing anything with it, polishing any of these, doing any of the painting on these, I think I was holding my breath quite a lot of the time because I was just so freaked out about messing them up. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, they're character nails. Everybody knows what the characters look like, so if they don't look exactly like that, they're going to look like crap, and I think that's what really was getting to me. Okay, now we're going in with the blue now, and we're doing another circle just inside of the white circle, so we have a white rim around this blue circle, basically. And once I get that the edges on there, we'll just fill it all in. And this is going to be the energy drop. And we're going to cure that. And when we're out, now we're ready for black, the black droplet that goes in the middle. Now this was my second go at this drop. I had one on there and I didn't like it, so I wiped it off. Normally I would leave that kind of stuff in so you guys could see things don't always go smoothly, but the video was already so long I didn't want to leave any extra stuff in there that I didn't really need. So I just cut that part out. But we're just going to fill this part in. And we need to make the little tail a little bit longer. And now I'm going to pull this up a little bit more because it was looking kind of weird to me. Once I'm done fussing with this, we're going to give it a cure. And in it goes. Now, I am mixing up some top coat with just a tiny dab of black paint because I'm trying to make a shading gray, I guess, or a sheer black, whatever you want to call it for shading purposes. I know they have this, they sell shader polishes like this already. I don't have any. I guess I don't do enough of this. I forgot. There's got to be this little swoosh of blue on there. Now I got to cure it again first. Okay, now it's cured. Now we're going to go in with the shading. And it's just like the bottom part of this droplet, or this circly thing, where there's shading on it. I suppose if I am going to be doing these kind of things more often, I suppose I should just get myself a bottle of the shader polish and save myself some work. Now I'm just kind of going to try to blend it into the blue a little better so we don't have, you know, a harsh divider line. And then I decided it needed to have a little bit more, as part of it was not quite as shaded as I wanted. And then I will do a little bit more blending, and I will clean off that white ring around there where I've slopped it now onto there. Frankly, this little energy drop took me a lot longer than I thought it would. I started with this one first because I figured it was going to be the easiest thing I was going to have to do. And it wasn't difficult, it just was more time consuming than I thought it was going to be. Okay, and as soon as I'm happy with it, that's going to go in for its final cure. And next we are going to put a matte top on all of these. Well, not the energy one that I just did, which I should have done this before I did that. Put the energy drop on, but not that big a deal for that one. But the rest of these, I'm matte topping them because for painting on there, it keeps the paint where you put it, and it's not going to spread around or move on you at all with the matte. And so, moving on, I'm using this light brown mud gel to do my outline on here to get, you know, the outline of the character. We're starting with the Psyduck, and I'm just going to rough in my outline so I know where I'm going with stuff, because proportion and that kind of stuff is an issue for me when it comes to drawing things. I'm not very good at it. Like, frankly, he needed to be up a little bit higher, because his feet, there's barely any room for his feet down there now. But anyway, as I'm looking at this background blue color, it kind of makes a nice sky color too. It would make a nice sky background for something. While I'm roughing this in, I will just tell you a little bit about Psyduck and my history with them. I am very prone to migraines. I used to get them all the time. I cannot even tell you guys how much of my life I missed out on because of them. Now, after having gone through menopause, I don't get them anymore, or I still could get them, but very, very rarely. I mean, I can't tell you when I've had the last one, but I know I can still get them. But generally, I don't get them anymore. So that was one good thing about it. Now, if I could just get rid of these darn hot flashes, we'd have something. Anyway, about Psyduck, one of his attacks is a migraine attack. And I could really relate to him, so that's why he was one of my favorites. And also, well, I'll talk about the other stuff when we get to that at that point, but anyway, that's my history with Psyduck, and that's why I like him, and that's why I've chosen this particular one. He was one of my go-tos when I was playing all the time. And not only did I have a pretty good card collection going, but I also have played a lot of the games. Okay, moving on. We have cured that, and now we are going to use this bright yellow, orangey yellow for the main bulk of the Psyduck body. And always I put way too much on my palette there every time. I don't know why I have an issue with that. But where you're just going to fill in now, where all the yellow is going to be. Now, as I was doing this with this yellow on that blue background, and in a bit after I get the little hairs on the top of it, all I could see as I was doing this was Homer Simpson's head. I don't know why. I think it's mostly the colors that are reminding me of that. But it also gave me a little bit of confidence that maybe I should do a Simpsons set, because their characters are much, much simpler and easier to, I think it would be easier to paint. Now, I've had a set of Simpsons stickers that I've been sitting on for quite some time, and I just haven't gotten around to doing a Simpsons set yet, but I will at some point. But I'm thinking now maybe I can hand paint some of the characters and just use the stickers as extra bits on some of the nails where I don't have the characters painted on. Hey, we're going to cure this here in a second when I'm done fussing with it. Okay, he's out. Now we're going to give him a second coat because this is polish and not gel paint. It's kind of splotchy looking, as you can see, so we're going to give him another coat to get the color flushed out. Okay, what's happening? What are we doing? Oh, okay. I think I was running low on my palette over there, and so rather than putting more on there and wasting it, I just splop some right onto there, and now I just have to smooth it out. Now, as you guys already know, gel polish is pretty much self-leveling, so once I get the color smoothed out, it will level off, and we're going to cure him, which I've done. Now I'm going back to that light brown that I used for the outlining, and this is going to be the beak, the main color of the beak. Now, being that this is mud gel, this is not self-leveling, so we're going to have to hopefully get it smoothed out so it doesn't have a bunch of lines from the brush in it. But I'm just going to fill in the beak and the feet. as I was painting these too, I was thinking, I mean, you guys are watching me flip this nail around in every direction so that I can do what I need to do. I cannot imagine having to do these on somebody's, on a live person and having them, A, they would have to sit there for a very long time while I would paint because I'm slow. But B, flipping their hand around in all these crazy ways to be able to do this would be a nightmare. I totally get why people that do these character nails on the regular basis, I see why they cost so much, because they're very time consuming. And you've got to be pretty much perfect. I think that's the main thing that was stressing me out so badly, is I felt like I wasn't going to be able to get them to be perfect and they were going to look like crap. But while I still feel like I have tons of room for improvement, I don't hate the way these came out. So, I mean, that's something for me. I know I don't tell you guys a lot of the time if I don't like a set, because I've had people tell me you shouldn't be bad talking your stuff when you're doing it on there, or people aren't going to want to watch it. So I've kind of tried not to do that. I mean, sometimes I don't like the way the sets come out, but they are what they are after I've spent so much time on them sometimes, and I don't have anything else to put up. I got to go with them, so. If something gets put up, you guys, and it doesn't look very good, believe me, I know. I do know. Okay, here goes his little hairs. Now, once again, as I was doing this, right there, too, I started thinking, Homer Simpson, all he needs is his eyes and some more squiggly hair around the side. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. I think I got a little loopy, too, because I'd been at this for so long. It took me 3 afternoons to do this, and this is only half the set. So it took me, I want to say, 3 hours for this one hand's worth of nails all in. Okay, I've gone with another mud gel, and this is a little darker brown. So we're going in with to do the shading on the beak now. And it will be on just that right side and some on his feet. Now I know the shading right now looks very like stark, like you got a dividing line between the colors that's harsh. We're going to fix that in a minute. Now I'm sure there's a better way to do that, but I don't really know what it is. So what I did was I cleaned my brush, and then you got alcohol on it. And now I will go back and blend with the alcohol. I will try to blend out those edges between the two colors so that I don't have such a harsh color line in between. Also, as I said, I did flash a lot of this stuff in between a lot of things. When I got something that was working and I was happy with it, I would flash them, because I knew that I was going to be wiping stuff off here and there, and I didn't want to lose any of my good work that I had done. But I'm just going to keep wiping my brush and then blending with alcohol until I'm happy with how it looks. We're getting there. We're getting there on the beak. And I'm sorry some of it's going to be out of shot. I have my camera set close to the edge of my desk as I can. But when I'm doing this real detailed stuff, I tend to put whatever I'm painting right on the edge of my desk and work on it that way, which is a problem for filming. Okay, I believe he's been cured, or he's about to be. Okay, he's getting that cured. Now moving on. Now here's where the Makartt polish comes in. This is a sheer orange color, which is part of the main reason I chose it, because it's already sheer. And I thought that would be, ooh, excuse me, I thought that would be good for the shading on the yellow. So I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put this all in where I need shading to be. Now I should have showed you guys the card I was working off that has this on there so you could actually see. I don't know why I didn't do that. I could have had that at the top of the screen the whole time I was doing this. But as I'm just thinking of it now, it's too late. And we're just going to continue getting all this shading in here. And once I do get that on there, then I'm going to go back with the alcohol again and blend it out into the yellow somewhat. Okay, now we're going to blend it in a little bit. Sorry for my arm going across there. As you guys know, my stuff I need to be getting is on that side. Being that I'm left-handed, I need it to be on the other side, but my camera setup is on the other side, so it can't be over there. It's a whole thing. And as you can see, I have sped this up. Like I said, I have sped everything up as much as I could. I think some stuff I could have sped up even faster than what I did. But I just wanted to make sure things were still legible, that you could tell what was happening. Okay, I'm cured that. Now we're moving on to starting. Oh, I forgot to hit record when I did the white eye parts that you see there. But that's super easy. So just 2 white areas there for the eyes. Now, I wish I could do these like in one swoop and get a nice thin line, but I seem to still be having issues with that. While my lines were a lot thinner for this, I still can't get them done like in one swipe. So as you see, I'm having to keep going over it, and that gives me kind of jerky looking lines instead of nice smooth lines. That one I didn't like, so that one I am taking off and redoing. So I do need more practice, but on the bright side, I think my lines on these were the skinniest and nicest that I've had on anything so far. So I'm getting better, but very slowly. And once I get the outline on the eyes, we're going to put a little black dot for the pupil on each one. Doot. And doot. There we go. Now he's got his eyes. Now I've cured those again, and I'm going to move on to the beak. Basically, the whole rest of this is outlined now, and I have sped it up, as I said, so it did take me a considerable amount of time. Next week, as I said earlier, I'll be doing my own nails again, and being that we're up to Pride Month, it's going to be a rainbow set, not with actual rainbows on it, so don't get excited for that, but we're going to use the rainbow colors, but you know, a different one on each nail. So I'll be recreating the design that I've seen by somebody else, because I really liked it. And we gotta get his little nostrils on there now. Okay. And I don't like that at the bottom. And now I've slopped black into the yellow. Yeah, I'm just using a lint-free wipe and alcohol when I have to wipe stuff off or clean like that, so I'm sure you guys know that already, but for those that don't, I'll just say I did pick up 1 new subscriber, you guys, so now I'm down to just needing 7 more now. 7 more to hit my 200. As I said before, when I do hit 200, I'm going to do some kind of a giveaway. It's either going to be a set of custom nails for you, whoever wins, or I might scrape together some nail products that I have around here that maybe I've got a lot of them and I'm not using them. I don't know yet. So let me know in the comments if you have a preference. Now, right now I'm working on painting his arms. He has both of his hands up holding the sides of his head because of the migraine. But anyway, that's what I'm working on. And here I am out of shot pretty much again, almost. And what are we doing here? Trying to make up my mind, I think, of what I'm doing. I think I need to round his head off. He's got a little bit of a point right there. Now I'm going to be outlining these little hair tufts. This was giving me anxiety because I was so afraid I wasn't going to be able to get a small enough line around there to outline them. I thought my outline was just going to like overpower the little brown hair bits and you wouldn't be able to see the brown, but surprisingly I managed to do it and still be able to see the brown in the middle. Frankly, that was my favorite part of the whole piece, was the little hairs on his head. Okay, we're cured that again so I don't screw up anything when I'm about to do the other arm. You can kind of see where it's just plain yellow and there's no shading. That's where the arm is going to be. I have run out of stuff to talk about, surprisingly. I know on my first take of this video, I had on my first voiceover, I had all kinds of stuff to talk about. Now, I'm either forgetting what it was or I am deemed it is not that important to talk about again. I don't know. Hope everyone's doing okay out there. You know, things are kind of brutal right now as far as the cost of everything being ridiculous. And I hope you guys are staying cool. We've just started on our summer weather for the most part. We've been in the mid-80s all week. Next week we're going to have some 90s. Not looking forward to that at all. Okay, we're almost done with him. Where am I going here? Oh, I'm attaching the little hairs to his head because they were kind of floating up there, so I'm trying to anchor them on the head more. And we got one piece of the bottom of the face to get on. And there he goes in for curing. Now he's done. Now, I moved on after that to the Pokeball. Now, this is the second Pokeball. The first one I forgot to hit record on. And I had my son out there. He had to run out to where the printer is in our garage and print out the Golduck for me because the card that I pulled that had the Golduck on it, I didn't like the way that one looked. It was a weird perspective on it, and it just looked weird, and I didn't think it was going to look good painted, so I had him print out another picture of one. So that's why I moved on to Pokeballs instead of doing the Golduck next, in case you're interested. But I've just done my outline and cured it, same as I did with the duck, and now we're just filling the color in. Now, like I already said, if you guys can think of something else for me to use on the Jigglypuff side of this set for these extra nails, I'll probably do at least one Pokeball, but I'm going to need something for 2 other nails on there, and I don't really know what to do. I guess I could do some music notes because it's Jigglypuff. Yeah, that's maybe what I'll do. But I still could use some other input for that. If I can get, after I finish the rest of this set, you know, the other half of it, if I can get my confidence up a bit more. Okay, there was one dot in the middle of the Pokeball on the little button that goes on the middle that was this kind of blue. Actually kind of a bluish gray. So that's what that was, and now we're going to cure that, and then we're ready to outline. If I can get my confidence up enough, I may turn this into a Pokemon collection and just do random Pokemon nails here and there. Not as a whole set, but just as separate nails that I can sell separately. Maybe. Now this middle part does have a wider line around it like that. The black ring around there is a bit on the wider side. So I will not be making all the lines that thick. It had a little thing right there on the button thing. The Pokemon expert in our house, my son, gave me the thumbs up on this, so I guess I did a good job on this set so far. As I said, there's still tons of room for improvement, but I don't hate them. When I don't hate a set that I've done, that's usually a good thing. I may not like them, but if I don't hate them, then I'm doing okay. This is looking a little jerky around the lines, not so smooth. And now I've slopped some into the white. We're going to clean this up a little bit here. Now I'm just using a dry brush for this part because I did not want to get too much alcohol going on there and have it fuzz out my lines. Now we're going to smooth this out a little better. And hold on, I gotta clean that out of the white. Okay, now we're ready to cure that one. Now moving on. Now I have done the outline for the Golduck. I forgot to hit record while I was doing it. So that happened kind of a lot at the end of this here video. I was kind of getting loopy. My eyes are getting crossed from, I had been in there for a good while painting these guys. But that light pale yellow is what we're doing the beak. And the webbing that's between his toes will be this color also. Now this is also polish and not gel paint, so I didn't want to have to do a second coat of this, so I tried to get it on here thickly enough so that it's going to color it solidly, but not so thick that it's going to wrinkle when I cure it. Okay, in between the toes we got this yellow webbing. Okay, and that's going to get cured. Now the blue that I'm going to use on him, this is the darker color that was going to be for the shading. So what you're going to be seeing me do is mix a lighter version of this that I'm going to use for the main body. So I'm going to put white, and I'm going to put some of that blue in there. I want to get a color of blue that's not as dark as that dark blue, but it's got to be not too far off from it, because I don't want it to have a big, color gap between the color and the shading, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean, Bern? Now, once again, I have mixed up way more than I'm going to need. I'm just not getting enough blue in there. At some point here, you're going to see me stop and get the blue bottle and put a drop directly into there. I think I started with way too much white. I probably should have just added white to the blue, but I don't have a lot of luck when I do it that way. It doesn't seem to lighten it up that much. Okay, now I'm going to just get the blue and just drop some on there. Alright, now we're getting there. That's pretty close to what I need. Okay, here we go. And once again, they're just going to fill in all this colored area with the main blue. And I should have showed you guys the picture I was working off of for this too, and I didn't do that. I don't know why. I think I was just so relieved to be at a point where I was done with this set this week that by the end of this I was, like I said, I was getting kind of loopy. My eyes were crossing. Surprisingly, I didn't have hand cramps doing this. I was kind of prepared for that. That's what usually happens when I'm doing a lot of stuff for a long time. Hands start cramping up. And once again, being that this is polish, although this brand of polish is very thick and creamy for the most part, so it is more opaque, and I did not need to do a second coat, but I was putting it on a little on the thicker side so I get good coverage. And once again, I just did not want it to wrinkle on me, so I just had to make sure it wasn't so thick that it wrinkled, but dark, thick enough to cover. And we're almost there. You can't see his other leg because it's off the side of the nail, and there's the part of his other arm. You can't see the hands on either one because they're off the edge, but you'll get the gist. Okay, we're going to cure this. We're going to cure him, and then we'll be ready to... Oh, now I did cure him, so I'm ready to go in to do the shading. Boy, that got cut so cleanly on the edit that I didn't even realize he was already cured. Okay, this is the darker that I'm pulling off of that same palette. This is not the darkest blue straight out of the bottle. This is part of the darker that was part of the mix of stuff that I just did. And this is a sped up version, as you guys already know, but just think how slowly I was painting it. This is the sped up version. Yeah, I'm not known for my speed when it comes to painting things. Once I get this shading blue on here, then we're going to blend like we did with the other one with some alcohol. And that's what we're doing now. If you saw the picture, you would see there's a clear line between the dark and the light. I didn't want mine to be quite so obvious, so that's why I was doing a little bit more blending. I know with cartoony looking stuff, things are painted that way, but I didn't like that harsh line, so we're blending it in. And now right in the center of his forehead, there's a red dot, which is supposed to be a gem. And now we're doing the eyes. I did cure the shading stuff after I got it blended out. Just realized that probably every little thing between switching from one thing to the next, I was flash curing because I was so much afraid of ruining something that I had done that was good by either bumping it or having to wipe off something else and then messing up. There was a tiny dot in the center of that gem for a highlight, so that's the white. Once I'm done filling with this white, we're going to cure that. Oh wait, I forgot the claws. The claws are white too. This pointy little claws on there. Alright, we should be about done here. Then we're going to cure this. And okay, we're going to use the darker of the two mud gel browns that we've been using. And his eyes, the iris of his eyes were dark brown, so that's what we're going in here with now. And they don't look exactly the same. That's how they looked on the picture, so that's the way I did them. Doing these really fine little details like this reminds me of when I was back in my 20s, eons ago. I was into painting the little lead D&D figures with model paints. And that was, I had some brushes back then that had like maybe 1 or 2 hairs on them for the teeny tiny little details of this stuff. And that was kind of an enjoyable thing for me. Gave me something to do, kept me out of trouble, and I just enjoyed it. And actually, all those figures that I painted, my daughter has all those now. She's into D&D, and she plays, she has a group that they were playing like every Sunday, but something happened, and I don't know what happened with, they haven't been able to do it for a while now, but I'm sure she'll get back to it. She's got quite the collection of D&D dice. And as a matter of fact, when I was first doing the resin stuff, that's one of the first things I did was make her a set of dice, because I had a dice mold that I was dying to try out. They didn't come out the greatest because it was my first try at them, but I at least figured out what went wrong, and I know how to do it better now, so I will be making her a better set at some point. She was happy with them. Frankly, I was not happy with them, but that was part of what she got for Christmas last year. I know I haven't showed any of my resin stuff yet on here, but if you guys want to see what I've gotten so far, you can go to Maker's Place by Michael, and if you just search Carlene's Creations on there, I'm using basically the same logo. I've just removed the polished bottle and put a flower on it instead. So you'll see what I have so far. There's not a whole lot of stuff on there, mostly keychains and bookmarkers at this point, because I haven't gotten anything else done yet. I've got a whole slew of earrings made, the resin part's done. I just have to sit and put them all together, which is very time consuming. I'm thinking to get my husband involved with that part, and he can sit and put all the little jewelry findings on there and put them together for me. Like we need to have a assembly night at the kitchen table and just sit there and work on all those, because I really need to get them up on the website. They're not doing me any good for selling if they're sitting in here in my room, in what was my nail room but is now my nail room / resin room, because about a third of it has got resin stuff all over the place now. But whenever I get anything done that I'm really happy with, I will show you guys on here. Not that you care that much, but just as something different. I'll tack something on at the end of the video when I get something decent that I want to have on here. I know he looks weirdly shaped, like the way he is with his body and his arms all up like that, but that is what he looked like. It's exactly what he looked like on the picture. So other than my lines being a little wonky in some places, I was pretty happy with how I was able to get them to look like the pictures, at least. And there's a little area I wasn't happy with. Also, on a side note that is not now related at all, we've been fighting gophers lately. Oh my God, they're just crazy. I mean, we've lived here for 4.5 years, and I've been just letting them go this whole time because, you know, there's not much to we don't have really a yard. Okay, it's like wild kind of desert area. We live in low hills that are like right up against the desert, basically. So it's like natural brush that's on most of our property. So I've been just letting them go because I didn't have anything out there. Well, there's a section between our garage and our house. That's where I've been planting stuff. And now they've gotten up into there and are starting to ruin my plants. So I told my husband they got to go now. I'm no more Mrs. Nice Guy. They're starting to ruin my hard work that I have, fought off all these, natural deserty stuff and weeds that's growing in here. And I'm starting to get some of my plants established, and they're just destroying them. And it's like, I can't have this. It really bothers me a lot to be killing them because we've been reduced to having to use poison. I've tried repellents and different stuff to just try and chase them out and make it unpleasant so they will move on to another part of the yard, but that just wasn't working. So I had to bite the bullet and tell him just get rid of them. I don't like that. I really don't like killing anything, animals. I mean, I can deal with killing bugs, no problem. I hate bugs, but I really have a problem killing animals. It just bothers me. As I'm a big animal lover, I don't like this at all, but I don't see any other way to go. There's no way to trap them and then move them somewhere else. I mean, I suppose we can't really afford to pay an exterminator to come in here and deal with them either, so we're kind of doing a trial and error thing. Anyway, hasn't got nothing to do with this, but something to fill the time while we're watching this. I think we're just about done with them. I'm just going to darken his eyes up a little bit because they were a little bit light on the outline. And then we're going to cure him, and then we'll be just about done. Finally. Okay, here we go. Now that has got the layer of... I put a layer of tempered top coat, and then I went over them with the matte top. And here they are with the matte top all done. And there we go, half a set of nails. If you guys like them, please give me a like. I worked awfully hard on this and it about killed me. Anyway, I will have a new video to upload next Saturday. It will be my own nails, so stay tuned for that. Hope you guys are doing good. See you next time. Bye-bye.